Oh my gosh, I've just arrived at Kahanda Kanda, one of the top luxury boutique hotels in Galle. This is our private luxury pool villa. The property is located directly on a tea plantation. These are all tea bushes, miles and miles of them. We're gonna be here for 3 days. Let's take a tour. Kahanda Kanda is located a short 2-hour drive south of Colombo and just 20 minutes from the old fort town of Galle. Upon arrival, guests skip up the stairs and are greeted by these beautiful trees that have these dangling coconut planters. There's also a lobby that's flanked by lotus and lily pad ponds with beautiful statues. As we arrive, you're going to see a peacock sculpture. This is an homage to the wild, beautiful birds that roam the property. In the lounge, there's also chess and books and other things to do on a rainy day. When we checked in, we were given a cool oshibori towel and ginger welcome cocktails. The resort is well known for being one of the first luxury boutique hotels in Sri Lanka. It has just 12 villas, with majority of them having private plunge pools. We're going to take you on a tour of our private pool villa. You'll see there's 2 loungers. The villa amazingly sits perched over rolling tea plantation. Look how gorgeous that is. The pool is incredibly deep. I am almost 5'7", and I had to be on my tiptoes, so it's really great because I love a deep pool. You can really dive in there, jump in there, and enjoy the amazing views. There's also 2 comfy lounge chairs that flank the other side of the pool, and you just get these amazing tea views. Like, just look at all that tea. Nature lovers will enjoy all the animals on the property. There are tons and tons of beautiful wild peacocks and cute little white herons. If you're a fan of reptiles, you will love these lizards. I think they're monitor lizards. I've also seen these in Thailand. They just snake around the grass and whistle their little tongues out at you. Inside the villa, we've got a bookcase, 2 chairs around a coffee table, and a big comfy area to sit and read in the sun. The bed is uber romantic, so this is perfect for a honeymoon getaway. We've got one of those like elegant mosquito nets that they put around the bed in the evening, even though you do not need it because there's no mosquitoes inside, of course. We've got a coffee and tea station with local Sri Lankan teas. There's a big shower area. It's romantic because we've got 2 shower heads in the same space. You can shower at the same time with your loved one, and a his and her sink. Now we're gonna head into the plunge pool. Take a look at the view when you're swimming in the plunge pool. You're just looking at endless rows upon rows of tea. The temperature gets really hot here, so you can expect, depending on what time of year you're visiting, the high 30 degrees Celsius range. So the water in your pool is perfectly thirst quenching, and just pop in there anytime you're feeling really hot. Honestly, we could not get enough of the views from the pool. You are going to love it. If you're staying in one of the villas without a pool, or traveling with family and friends and want to be able to meet together, there's a big giant main swimming pool right by the lobby, and it's right beside this beautiful tower, and the restaurant is just to the right here, so you can have a swim, and they'll do food and beverage service right to the lounge chair. The sun was so beautiful when I came to film this, and I just wanted to show you these lotus pads with a beautiful sculpture. If you want to work out on holiday, they have a gym. It's a very boutique kind of sized gym. There's free weights, as well as you can do some pumping of the irons. There's a treadmill, and there's also a stationary bike, some bouncy balls, and yoga mats, and you get beautiful views of the tea plantation. We're going to come around from the gym, so when you're coming through from the gym, there's lots of beautiful tropical foliage. So the gym's just behind the tower, and you can see you can easily go from the gym and jump into the pool. We're going to also take a look at the yoga pavilion. So if you love yoga, you can enjoy a really large yoga class with beautiful views overlooking the plantation. The spa also has, again, you guessed it, amazing views overlooking all of the tea bushes. Inside there's a little welcome area. There's also a toilet, and then a single treatment room, so you can have any of their fabulous massages. The food and beverage concept at the hotel all takes place in the restaurant, but you can have food and drink served in your villa as well if you're looking to have an intimate breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We're going to walk through to show you the delicious breakfast option. So you can have a Sri Lankan breakfast, so order a pot of local tea, and then they'll bring you all of the classic Sri Lankan treats. We always recommend getting their banana bread. It's amazing. They also have homemade preserves, such as their passion fruit jam, which was a favorite. Then we've got some crispy egg hoppers that are served with that ground coconut, as well as string hoppers that are served with a fish curry, as well as a chicken curry. So this is a classic Sri Lankan breakfast, and you can order this every morning if you'd like. And of course, the view is right over the tea plantation. We're going to grab one of these egg hoppers, and Amy's going to show you how you prepare it. So you just shake some of that delicious shredded coconut with chili on there. These are the string hoppers. I really love these. You can eat them with your hands like a local, or with a fork and knife. Just scoop that chicken curry as well as the fish curry onto your plate, and then use the hoppers to grab your chicken. Absolutely delicious. You can also order a Western breakfast. So one morning we ordered scrambled eggs with bacon. We had some fresh tropical fruit and, of course, that delicious banana bread. Excellent cappuccino and a coconut pancake with bananas, some cream, as well as local honey. The owner of Kahanda Kanda is British, and since we're on a tea plantation, it feels fitting that we have the British afternoon tea service. We had it served right overlooking the tea plantation at our villa. You can see there's a 3-tiered service, so it included raisin scones, a selection of cupcakes, some berry cake slices, as well as a chicken sandwich and a cucumber sandwich. In the evening, you can order delicious dinner. There's a mix of Western and Sri Lankan fare, but we, of course, wanted to try local specialties. Every dinner starts off with 4 warm bread rolls and really nice cold butter. On our first night, we ordered 2 classic Sri Lankan dishes. So on the left, you're going to see roti stuffed with spiced mashed potato. It was served with yogurt as well as a tomato salad and chicken curry. On the right, we've got a classic thali, which is 6 or 7 different curries that you eat with rice and papadum, and we got a salad with pineapple and pomelo. The second evening, they hosted a Sri Lankan buffet, so all of the guests at the hotel lined up, and we had an endless assortment of curries as well as different rice dishes and lime pickle and mango chutney. They also offered this really cool like DIY katu roti section, so the chef made classic kadu roti, also known as chop chop. You can see that it starts off with some butter as well as chopped eggs, and then they add in chopped chicken, and then this is the chopped up roti, and then they do some ladles of Sri Lankan coconut curry. Then they add some onion and garlic and some vegetables like carrots and scallions, and they top it all with a little bit of cilantro. My sister had never tried this before, and it was her favorite dish. You've got to try katu roti. If you're a traveling foodie, we highly recommend signing up for one of the cooking classes. The executive chef for the hotel leads the class, and it's done inside this beautiful traditional Sri Lankan home. So this is the setup, and this is our chef for the day. It's less of a cooking class and more of a cooking demo, so you can really relax. And they even ask you what some of the dishes are you want to make. So we made 4 different curries, one with squash, one with chicken, one with roasted eggplant, and another with dal. So this is the first dish we made, which was roasted eggplant curry. Amy's gonna have a little bite of that. It was delicious. Then we made a version with lentils. So this is vegetarian friendly. It's nice and soft and full of protein. Amy also really loved this one. It had some additional lemongrass in it, which we really enjoyed. And the third one took a little bit longer because the squash is raw when it goes in, so it's about 10 minutes to cook, and the chunks of pumpkin are really tender, and this was my favorite curry out of the bunch. So delicious. The resort team is so helpful in organizing fun experiences nearby. They pick you up in a tuk-tuk and recommend tons of different experiences that are within a 10 to 20 minute drive from the resort. Our first stop was a local cinnamon farm. Sri Lanka is the largest producer of cinnamon in the world, Most people don't understand the time-consuming process of making cinnamon, so we're going to show you today. So he starts off with a sharp machete and cuts down one of the trees, removes all of the little buds around the stems of the tree, and then his wife had this very particular little item that she shaved the bark off, and then he takes a sharp knife and removes the layers underneath. They then take all of these individual thin layers, and then you can see that they're piling them onto each other. And these are then wrapped together with string and dried over a long period of time, usually a few weeks, until they're ready to be sold. So you can see he's taking a ribbon and just wrapping around the multi-layers. So you can see the one my sister's holding on the right with the ribbon is fresh, and the other one is one that is dried and will soon be ready to sell. And they hang them to dry in the rafters of the little factory they have here. They finished off the experience with a pot of cinnamon tea, and it's just ground cinnamon with some spiced cookies. They also wanted to show us what they sell, so they sell cinnamon oil as well as cinnamon sticks and ground cinnamon, and of course we took some of that home. The next stop was the region's most famous tea plantation. If you've never experienced how tea is made, what a fascinating journey this is. The actual plantation is beautiful. It was very hot, so we were checking out all of the different fields. They make black and green tea, but their most famous is virgin white tea. You learn about where they pick, so they pick the virgin tips, and really fascinating is the property also has rubber trees, and I'd never seen this before. So this white liquid is actually the sap, kind of like they're tapping it like maple syrup, and then it collects at the bottom, and this is used to make organic rubber. The farm also has tons of cows. After touring the tea fields, we were brought into this covered dining area where they serve slices of chocolate cake as well as one of their steeped teas. After the little refreshing break, we then headed to the tea factory. So we're going to walk in here and you'll see this is where the fresh tea arrives. The fresh tea is laid out here, and you can see there's just so much space. So during the peak of the season when they're really harvesting a lot, you can see they can have tons and tons of leaves which need to be sorted as the first step. Then we come into the area where they actually ferment, like the black tea gets fermented on the ground. And so you'll see that these tea leaves are withered and they're a little bit wet because they've been drying. And these ladies are passing through the leaves over a machine that then breaks them down into their different sizes. So on the left, you'll see these are the tea leaves that have longer and bigger leaves, and these are actually a milder and more affordable tea. The smaller leaves are more expensive and are in a premium teas. We also saw all of the machinery used to separate the teas and then to push them into the different categories of tea. The last stop is visiting the what they call it a tea museum, but it's really like their retail shop and tasting area. I thought the tasting situation was so unique. So I think they said every 3 to 4 minutes they brew new tea, and they have over 40 different kinds of tea. So in all the glasses, you're going to see the color. And these teas are really warm when you sip them. They give you a little shot glass as well as a spoon. So you grab the spoon, pour it in your shot glass so you're not contaminating anything, and then have a sip of all the different teas to find your favorite. There were classic black teas, green teas flavored with lemongrass, ginger, and even fresh vanilla bean. In the retail shop, our favorite was the chai, so we grabbed some to take home. The following day, on a very rainy morning, you can see that Tuk Tuk picked us up and we drove through what looks like a pond through rice paddies to go on a fabulous lake cruise of Koggala Lake. This is just a 10-minute drive from the resort and one of the most popular must-do experiences when staying at Kahanda Kanda. The boat is covered, so if it's raining or drizzling, you're totally fine, and we enjoyed looking at some local fishermen that were paddling across the lake before arriving at a little tiny island with a Buddhist monastery. So this is the stupa at the monastery, and then we arrived at the temple, and you can see it's absolutely beautiful. It's flanked by 2 lions. You go inside and you can see a beautiful seated Buddha, beautiful interior paintings, and then on the top, look, there's 2 crocodiles that are overlooking the entrance, and that's indicative of the fact that there's crocodiles in the lake. So you can see some of these crocodiles when on the boat cruise if you are lucky. Inside, you can take a walk around the shrine and see additional Buddhist sculptures, as well as some outside in a garden. Back on the boat, we're going to take a tour of the mangroves. There's lots of tropical birds like kingfishers, as well as other tour companies with boats and beautiful birds. We most enjoyed interacting with this amazing monkey family. They were so hilarious. They were grabbing bananas out of the tree, and you had the mama as well as the cute little babies, and they were just a hoot and a holler, jumping from here and there. Then we arrived on another island where we skipped across a deck, and there's quite a few local families that have little fishing spa therapy experiences. These are really popular in Thailand, where you put your feet in a pool full of minnows, but they actually use larger goldfish to give you a little bit of a foot treatment. On our last day, we enjoyed a day trip to Galle, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but on the way, we highly recommend stopping at this monastery. It has a Buddhist shrine, which you can step inside. See, there's lots of beautiful murals and sculptures, and the big draw here is the Buddha that is lying down. So they've covered, out of respect, they've covered this with a curtain, but you can see there's a Buddha that's lying on its side, and the actual temple is built into the rocks, which is really cool. Look at those rocks. You can come in and out through the rocks. And then on the other side, we have got a giant tree that has very important spiritual significance. We saw several locals walking around the tree and praying, and there's Buddha's sculptures all throughout the property as well. Highly recommend a stop at this Buddhist monastery to get a taste of local religious life. On our way to Galle, we stopped at the harbor because there were a crew of local fishermen that were pulling in the fishing net. So this is a traditional way that Sri Lankans actually collect their seafood, and it's a total group effort, as you can see. Galle Dutch Fort is one of Sri Lanka's most visited attractions. If you're heading to southern Sri Lanka, highly recommend. It's an old Dutch fort. You can see on a beautiful sunny day, there's lots of people kayaking in the harbor. We were here on a Sunday, so everyone was on their weekend holidays. You saw lots of families with their kids. Locals love to visit this fort. You can spot plenty of green terraces as well as cannons. We suggest walking all the way to the clock tower to get a really great view overlooking the city. And there's also a sculpture garden that showcases Sri Lankan as well as Western military. When we finished our walk, we were greeted by all of these really friendly local school kids. This staircase up to the very top has the most beautiful views overlooking the famous lighthouse. So you can see Galle Lighthouse in the distance, and on the left, that white building is a beautiful mosque. When we turn our camera to the right, you're going to see there are boats, and there's even a Buddhist shrine on the hill on the other side, as well as just really beautiful waves and rock formations. It's a really beautiful nature and history day. There's a maritime museum if you're interested in the local maritime history, but the most famous thing to visit probably downtown is the All Saints Church. There's 2 or 3 different churches, and inside you can get a sense of the Christian history in town because this was fortified by the Dutch. After a very hot day touring the downtown Galle area, we got our driver to drop us off at KK Beach. It is the sister property to the Kahanda Kanda, and it's their beachfront boutique hotel. So this is the lobby, really beautiful furniture, and the pool is amazing with lots of lounge chairs and beautiful umbrellas, and you can enjoy a beautiful swim in here. We highly recommend making a plan to visit on a sunny day. You can get a free tuk-tuk. The hotel will organize your transfer there and back, and guests from both hotels can use their meal plans and just charge things to their cards, so you do not need to bring a credit card. We had a fried chicken lunch with corn, as well as coconut breaded shrimp and a lovely salad with a local Lion beer. Absolutely delicious on a day where it was 40 degrees Celsius. Jump in the pool and finish off with an upside down pineapple cake and coconut ice cream. We highly recommend, if you're visiting southern Sri Lanka, to book a getaway to Kahanda Kanda. You can visit their sister property, KK Beach, which is a huge plus, and you can see there's just so much to do in the region. We just know you're going to love your trip to Sri Lanka. Ooh, these waves are beautiful.